Welcome back. It's the Big Blue Banter, New York Giants football podcast. And no, I was not organizing magnets or taking tequila shots. And I most certainly wasn't looking for my shank drive on 18. I miss golf so much, man. But I was getting myself prepared, rushing home from tennis. Just played a little set with a listener of our podcast, Nick, Steve Hall. Shout out Steve Hall. He's learned tennis. He's a year in. He's getting a lot better. He's going to beat me in a year or two, maybe a little longer. And I rushed home from the bubble. And I said, we got to record an emergency pod. So here we are. We're talking Giants. We're talking the big news of the day. John Harbaugh, former Ravens coach, Super Bowl winning coach, the man who has never had back-to-back losing season, the man with 12 playoff appearances, the man with 8 road playoff wins, which is the most of all time of any head coach, and the man who, quite frankly, will be instilling a culture of discipline that literally every single Giants player. I mean, I'm watching these post-season interviews, Nick, yesterday. You got Thibodeau. You've got basically every Giants player was like, we need somebody to come in and discipline us. Like, it's basically what it was. Like, instill a culture of discipline. That's what the Harbaughs do. They did it in Baltimore, and his brother did it in LA and San Francisco. So I'm really excited about this. I feel like it's inevitable, honestly, Nick.
Yeah, there seems to be mutual interest. I was fired up, man. I was driving when I saw this. I actually had to pull over and then tweet right at Adam Schefter, a funny GIF that is now one of the main things there. So that's kind of funny. But, dude, you're seeing Schefter talk about how this is a marriage that can happen. I saw Jordan Schultz come out. Ian O'Connor said this. And Ian O'Connor, when he talks about the Giants, he's plugged in. You listen. He said, John Harbaugh has a high regard for the Giants job and for Jackson Dart. Of the 6 head coaching openings, I believe he might have the Giants at number 1 or damn close to it. As I wrote yesterday, I believe he hurdles Kevin Stefanski as the leader in the clubhouse. And this is somebody, man, look, people have their criticisms about John Harbaugh. That's all well and good. But like the criticisms aren't necessarily about him being a bad coach or running a loose ship or anything like that. It's because the expectations for the Baltimore Ravens,
so high.
It's because it's championship level. And that's such a foreign concept for the New York Giants, right? Like having a champion. Yeah, recently, in the last decade plus, it's been such a foreign concept. And the whole Joe Schoen thing, that's something we could talk about in this. Like, if the Giants struggle and John Harbaugh gets hired, he wanted Joe Schoen gone. I think John Harbaugh has that sway. I think Joe Schoen is safe this season. I'm talking about in the future to come. But so it's not like a lame duck coach situation with tied to a lame duck general manager. But dude, his track record speaks for himself. He's a 6-time divisional champ in 2011, 12, 18, 19, 2023, 2024. It's been to the AFC Championship game, I think 4 times, if I'm not mistaken. He's had success
with 2 different quarterbacks, by the way.
Yeah, completely different systems with Joe Flacco, Lamar Jackson. This is much more of the, if you want to, for a lack of a better term, the CEO type of coach, where he's going to hire somebody to run the offense, hire somebody to run the defense. We can get into some of the people that he's worked with in the past, and he's going to manage the entire operation. And that's something that I think we could desperately use. And he's also a coach of the year. I don't know what that's worth because, Brian Daboll was, but he was a coach of the year in 2019 when the Ravens went 14-2. When I saw it though, Dan, I was excited, man. I was like, good, man. I think this is easily the number one available coach that I want. I imagine many Giant fans want.
He'll easily be my number 1. Look, I am the guy who always wants offense, always wants scheme, always wants X and O's. I think we can get that if we hire John Harbaugh. I'm going to keep calling him Jim by mistake. I know it already. It's going to be a Jin John kind of thing for me because I do it all the time. When I type up tweets, I always get them two mixed up in my brain, my stupid little brain. But I'll say this, Nick, I obviously want someone who's going to come here and have a plan for Jackson Dart. But I don't believe, people have said, well, address this one first, Nick. People have said, oh, aren't you worried about him bringing in the right offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator? He's the CEO type. I think this is exactly what the Giants need, the CEO type of head coach, the guy who's going to instill discipline and culture that they freaking need, man, a level of accountability for every single player. And honestly, I feel like it's a good thing, dude, that he has held Lamar Jackson to the same standard as all their players. Now, I know it's a point of contention in Baltimore because normally this doesn't happen, right? Coaches don't have that kind of wherewithal to do that, to hold the star quarterback accountable like every other player. But he's going to do that. And I think what that does is it helps the rest of the locker room feel like they're heard and it feels like they're on the same playing level. And I think that breeds a good culture. But as far as the coordinator question goes, because as I'm reading today, Diana Rossini is reporting this now, Nick, and one other report is suggesting this. The boiling point why the Ravens have decided to move on from Harbaugh and why they've moved on from each other is that Harbaugh wanted to keep Tom Munkin. I'll say this, dude. I thought Todd Monken was a damn good coordinator last year, and he put together a damn good offense. I didn't watch any tape on him this year. That was the one team we didn't cover a lot on Beyond the Box Score, the Ravens, for whatever reason, because Lamar was hurt. It was a shit offense because he was hurt, and they had the Huntley games, which are unwatchable from an offensive standpoint. Respect to Huntley for like making a career of himself, but he doesn't operate a real offense. But last year, when Lamar was healthy, Monken was cooking, dude. And I thought we broke down a lot of games, Jacob and I was like, damn, this dude is designing good offense. So I don't actually buy into the Monken can't coach offense thing at all, or that he can't bring in coordinators. As far as defensive coordinators goes, obviously the Ravens had a defensive coordinator in there who we love. The Giants tried to hire, and he went to Tennessee instead. Or that was their DB coach. Instead, they hired Orr, who I don't think is great, but I'm not worried about that.
Dude, Todd Monken took over 2023 and then to 2025. And last year in 2024, the Ravens had a historically dominant offense, dude. They set franchise records. They had over 7,000 total yards, over 4,000 passing yards, over 3,000 rushing yards. And yes, they have a good team. They had Derrick Henry. They have Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Obviously a very good team, but over 30 points they average, dude. Like, this is something
right.
Like, I would sign up for a Todd Monken.
And they had a declining offensive line, by the way, last year and this year. Like, that offensive line has not been replenished. They've lost guys. Stanley's not the same player he was, and they still managed to put together, like you said, a record-setting offense last year. I'm not worried about Monken at all.
Fast tempo too, man. And they possessed the football. They moved the chains. They led the league in total points and yards per play. Like, they were.
By the way, Monken was really good at Georgia too. That's where they got him from. Like, Georgia's offense has never been the same since Monken left. Monken created an offense for the Georgia Bulldogs that they've never experienced. Like,
and they still get 5 stars too, man.
Yeah. And also, like, I don't think it's like, like a part of like why he had Roman in there and people are like, oh, I'm worried about the coordinators. It's because of the quarterbacks they've had. Lamar Jackson, like, Dart's a different quarterback. He's going to have a good plan for Dart. Like, he's not an idiot. And Monken himself, I think, would have a really good design for Dart, to be quite frank.
Yeah, 100%, man. If we go through the offensive coordinators, I mean, Todd Monken, Greg Roman, before that was Marty Morningweg, Mark Trestman.
That's not great.
Gary Kubiak, Jim Caldwell, Cam Cameron. We're going back to different eras of football.
Yeah.
But he's had several head coaches come from the defensive side. Remember, Mike McDonald was with the Ravens for 2 seasons, 2022 and 2023, before he accepted the head coaching job with the Seattle Seahawks. Chuck Pagano, before he went to the Colts, was the defensive coordinator back in 2011. And then Rex Ryan, before he went to the Jets, was the defensive coordinator. So you always want a coaching staff. Like, we always talk about Sean McVay. I think Sean McVay has really done an excellent job just having guys underneath, like breeding a not just a level of accountability, but an entire environment where every other team in the league is like, we just got to like copy what they are doing. Like, defensively, at least, especially from like an aggression standpoint, the NFL was doing that for a while. And we thought Wink Martindale would get an opportunity, and then things kind of soured here with the Giants. And then he ended up taking his talents to the college ranks. But overall, man, he has had coaches poached off of his squad because of the level of success that the Baltimore Ravens have experienced throughout his entire tenure, which was a long story, man. Like, you're talking about his record, dude, 180 and 113. That's his regular season record.
Yeah. And it's like, even if you think like, oh, well, he's never been able, like, even though he did win a Super Bowl with Flacco, oh, he's never been able to get over the hump of Lamar. Like, that's been with Mahomes healthy every year. Like, nobody gets over the hump in the
and
AFC,
Tom Brady
really,
back in the day.
Yeah, Brady and then Mahomes. Like, those guys were in every Super Bowl. Those literally were in, like, Mahomes has been in almost every Super Bowl. And I think Ian Hartitz tweeted this out, which I thought was great. It's just a screenshot. Let's see if I can get this up. I'll see if I can share.
And also, while you do that, dude, 2011 against the Patriots, they lost by 3 points in the AFC Championship game. And then in 2023, they lost by 7 points.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. Like,
yeah,
this
so
is, you see this on the screen right now?
Yeah, let me get that up. Sorry.
Yeah. So let's see if I can get this a little closer. No, that's not great. That didn't make it better. But this is how they've last 4 seasons have ended for the Ravens. A shitty missed kick on a 43-yarder by their kicker. And I agree with
Thank you, Tyler.
They could have ran the ball, whatever.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews dropping a touchdown, an easy touchdown, them just missing by a half yard against Mahomes. And then that Bengals 3rd and goal where I think they fumbled on that play. So, I mean, like, these are the ways. The only way he's lost is by these like crazy end of game moments.
He's going to fit in well here with the New York Giants.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, he's also had a lot of those close wins. Yeah. He's had a lot of close wins as well. That's why the record you broke down is true. It's why he leads the NFL head coaches in most road wins. Like, he's going to get us, if he is hired by the Giants, we're going to be so ready for these road games and for big moments and the culture he's going to instill. It's like every single thing the Giants have said that they've wanted, Nick, he's going to bring. And that's why I know he's going to be number one on the Giants list. Like, as far as if he's going to come here, that's another story. But they need a leader of men, somebody to rebuild the culture from scratch, a track record of winning. Will he come up in big moments? Yes, he has. I know last few seasons hasn't, but a lot of those aren't his fault. Like we just showed, a drop pass here, an easy drop pass here, a easy miss kick. And the other thing is, like, I'll say this, Nick, and hopefully the Giants have this wherewithal. If he comes in and says, I don't want to do this with Joe Schoen, fuck it. Get rid of Schoen. Just fire him on the spot. And I think the Giants may be willing to do that. Like, if it comes down to we get Harbaugh if we don't have Schoen or we don't, I think they might be willing to reverse course because they've never really said, like, they haven't fully said, they said Shane's going to be back, blah, blah, blah. But it's not like this full commitment. We haven't seen like Joe Schoen extended for 4 years yet. And he really is going to the last year of his contract. So quite frankly, and Shane said it himself, by the way, in his presser yesterday, he's like, you know, in today's NFL, he said, unfortunately, he's like, today's NFL, your contract doesn't really mean anything because you can just fire that because you can be fired at any time. So if it's Harbaugh or Schoen, I think the answer is obvious, obviously for us. And I hope the Giants are going to be willing to understand that that answer is obvious for them too.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think that would get in the way, but at the same time, the Giants are they're a little bit of a different organization where, like, yes, Joe Schoen is the general manager. He ultimately has the say, but there are so many different voices in the Giants building that also have sway, and it is a collaborative effort. And I just think John Harbaugh can have leverage with that. But John Harbaugh does also have leverage in the sense that if it's like, hey, I want to go coach the Giants, but I don't want this general manager, I'm going to take my talents to the Titans. The Giants have a decision to make on Joe Schoen. That would be something that I would hope they would make the proper decision. But you know how the Giants are when it comes to loyalty.
And by the way, if that is the decision they make, and if that is what John Harbaugh says, essentially, Nick, it's exciting for me too, because I think he could bring someone in from that Baltimore regime. And I love the way Baltimore runs their operation from an organizational standpoint. I know I saw Ben Solak go after it today, which is respect. I get it. It's fair. But I love the idea of like playing the comp story pick formula the way they play it, always getting these free comp picks every year, understanding the value of signing cut players versus regular free agents because this is go against the comp pick form. Like, I think and trading back a lot in drafts, I think they understand just the process really well. So if he wants to come in and say, look, I've learned a way to do this in Baltimore for all these years. We've won a lot of games doing it my way, or our way, let's say the Baltimore way. We've won a lot of playoff games, a lot of road games. I want to bring that way here. Joe Schoen, you're not really going that style. I think the Giants will be willing to recognize that this is a very rare opportunity. Like a John Harbaugh, like my friend Gary, who's a diehard Jets fan, texted me before this pod and said, holy shit, John Harbaugh would be a dream hire for either of us. And he's right. Like, this is a dream hire.
100%. I'm right there with you, man. Like the fact that he came available with the Giants having this head coaching vacancy, and we have a track record of everything the New York Giants want, right? The New York Giants, and they basically just looked at John Harbaugh's resume and they just listed that, and now he is available for the Giants. They want him, and this is I would say a dream scenario for us if the Giants and John Harbaugh can come to an agreement and he can come here and coach the Giants. I think it would be great for Jackson Dart and the young guys. You already have a hard-nosed runner, right? Like if that's the kind of offense that you want, if Cam Scadaboo can return and come back healthy, I think the offense, if it were to be Todd Monken, which isn't a guarantee, but if that was the case, you have some pieces in place that can fit that offense as well. That's a big 12, 21 personnel type of approach. Now the offense could change with Jackson Dart because he is a different player than Lamar Jackson, but the mobility is still there as well. And look, I don't want to get ahead of our skis, of course. Like there's still a lot that has to happen for all of this to materialize. But the sheer fact that he's available and we know there's mutual interest and everybody in the NFL media is talking about John Harbaugh and the Giants, that's a good sign for us because let's not forget, guys, it wasn't long ago where it was Matt Nagy and Arthur Smith were like the top guys we were discussing. And even on this podcast, we're like, oh, Mike McCarthy, like John Harbaugh, like that blows it out of the water, dude.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about the retread hires, he's by far and away the best. I mean, because Stefanski, you could probably make the case for he's won Coach of the Year twice, and I'm fine with that. And he's an offensive mind, being in that range. But I think Harbaugh surpasses. He's exactly what I want because I feel like every time the Harbaughs have had an opportunity, Nick, they've instilled a culture that we need, and we desperately need that culture. And even the players are saying it, dude. That's the craziest part. Like you listen, like I said, to these post-season interviews yesterday in the locker room. They're all like, dude, we need somebody to come in here and just like discipline us, which is, by the way, not a great reflection on Brian Dable, to be honest. But maybe a good reflection on Kafka. Maybe
No,
Kafka woke him
yeah,
up.
it's not a good reflection at all on Brian Dable,
Yeah,
especially since so many players said it.
right.
It was something that they all understood and knew in that building. And Kafka, the first thing he did was hold the rookie accountable. Like that
Right.
says something. And if it's anything, Mike Kafka might not be back with the New York Giants. But if there's anything to be said about Mike Kafka's tenure here with the New York Giants, it's that he was the first person to hold Abdul Carter accountable. And then we saw the best of Abdul Carter as a rookie.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think that's probably what we'll start to see moving forward if they were to make this hire of John Harbaugh, just a completely different culture and a completely different like level of accountability for things. And that could lead to wins. It has so far in his coaching career. John Harbaugh is a winner. So is his brother Jim. They win. Their style wins. And I will report this because this is also reported by Jordan Schultz. So Jordan Schultz and Ian O'Connor have both kind of said, like, look, this is not likely, but there's mutual interest, which you brought up. But he also said, Jordan Schultz, that from what he's heard, there are multiple teams who currently have head coaches under contract who might make a play for John Harbaugh. So this is not like a guy who, he's that sought out by the NFL that we could see a situation where like the Giants are the lead front runners. He doesn't want to go to the Titans or Cardinals or any of these other shit jobs, but he's like some good
The
team.
Cowboys
Right,
come in or
right,
something. Oh my
exactly.
gosh, dude. Yeah, that would be
Right,
terrible. But
right.
yeah, I
Something
think
like that.
I think that's within the realm of possibility. I mean, think about it. Like every year there's these lame duck coaches where like, well, if this team doesn't get into playoff contention next year, like the Arizona Cardinals last year, and then Jonathan
Right.
Gannon is fired, right? Like a team like that could certainly make a push, especially if they have a loaded roster that would appeal to someone like John Harbaugh, who is 63 years old. So it's not like super old, but it is, it's not super young either, but he's still like, he could have plenty more years left coaching.
Like, let me give you an example of something I could see happening to negatively impact our chances. I heard a report yesterday, Nick, I'm not sure if you saw this, that Jay Glazer said, Matt LaFleur's job is not as safe as people think. It's kind of a come and go, wait and see moment. I think if they get blown out by the Bears in this playoff game and the Packers then decide to move on from LaFleur, if I'm John Harbaugh, I'm going there. I'm 63 years old. I want to go to a team that's closer to contending. If my options are the Cardinals, Titans, Giants, and the shit that's out there right now, I'm taking the Giants easy in that spot. So I do think like we have to, it's touch and go at this point.
And if that is the case, I mean, with that specific team, LaFleur is an option that I would love as well.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah. So like that would be the glass half full.
Totally different kind of coaches, by the way,
yeah.
right?
I mean, the Giants do look, man. The Giants, it's an appealing job, I think.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people like to shit on the job, but there are like the young nucleus, all that kind of stuff. Like if the general manager thing is figured out, like I think there is a lot of appeal here, especially if you're into Jackson Dart. And according to some of these reports by some of the people out there in NFL media, it seems like John Harbaugh, I don't know how they glean this, but John Harbaugh is that he does like Jackson Dart. And if that's the case,
that's what we're hearing. Yeah.
Again, I don't really know how true that is, but I don't know.
He won the AFC North 6 times. That's crazy. That's not an easy division to win. I just saw that in your notes. He won the AFC North 6 times. That's awesome to see. But yeah, I agree with you. I think he wants to coach Dart.
Sorry to cut you off, but that's with prime Ben Roethlisberger in your because he started coaching in 2008. John Harbaugh. Right. And all the way up till now, you had to deal with prime Ben Roethlisberger, a bunch of good Bengals teams at that time. The Browns have always sucked, but that's the Browns. So like you had some real competition. And the AFC just in general, you're talking about prime Tom Brady and then Pat Mahomes,
right.
like we talked about before, man. Like they're he only has one Super Bowl, beat his brother in what was that? Down in New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken. That was the one where the lights went off at halftime, lights went out. Right?
Yeah,
I love the conspiracies around that.
Remember that game. But and I'll say this, like, what brought his brother back to the NFL? For years, Jim was rumored, oh, is he going to come to the NFL? They want Jim. I'm good at Michigan. I'll win something there. Some might say, like, finally winning it all. But I think what really brought him back was the opportunity to coach a quarterback that he believes in Justin Herbert. I'm not sitting here comparing Jackson Dart to Justin Herbert. I'm not some kind of jerk off. But I will say this, like, if you're Jim Harbaugh, it's exciting, the prospect of coaching a player like Jackson Dart. Now, you could say it's exciting for him to coach a player like Cam Ward as well.
You're going to love this comment, by the way. Sorry.
Jamie Kaig says, Harbaugh going to trade The Wire for The Sopranos. Oh, I love that. That's great. Two unbelievable shows.
Sorry to cut you off, but I knew you
were. No, that's good. That's good. Yeah. But look, like, I'm not sitting here saying that, like, coaching Jackson Dart or coming to coach Jackson Dart is the same idea as coming to coach Justin Herbert. But as far as like comparing it to Cam Ward and some of these other situations, like, you don't get Andrew Thomas if you go coach Cam Ward. You don't get Abdul Carter. You don't get Brian Burns. You don't get Dex. There's so many more pieces here. I understand the depth isn't there. I'm well aware of that. But there are actual pieces that can get a coach excited.
And there's cachet, man. Like John Harbaugh has a lot of cachet at this point. He's not as old as somebody like Pete Carroll
True.
or anything like that, but this is somebody who is who knows how to lay a foundation of a successful franchise and a successful team. This is something that he's done for a very long time, dude. So
Yeah.
this isn't somebody who's learning on the job. Like if you read, you don't even really need to read between the lines. It's been stated pretty openly. The Giants are a little tentative to add a new head coach who is going to be learning on the job and making mistakes. Like the John Harbaugh is not going to do that, man. Like John Harbaugh knows how to freaking run an NFL franchise, and the Giants want that. That appeals to the Giants to the point where they were looking at people like Matt Nagy. So
Right.
yes, like I think like the Mara family, the Tisch family, the Koch family, like they gotta, if they have any say in this, they gotta look at this, and this has to be their number one option, I would imagine.
Yeah, and here's the thing: like, there's already been reports that there's mutual interest. 2 reports that there's mutual interest. There's also been a report that I saw from, I'm forgetting who it was now. I'll pull it up right now. I don't have it on me, but there's a report that the Giants are ready for this. Like the Giants have already prepared for the possibility that John Harbaugh might be fired or the Ravens might move on from Harbaugh. I think this is probably not even fire is probably not the right word. I think it's more of kind of like what happened with Andy Reid and the Eagles, right? Like it was just like time to move on, try something different. Andy Reid went to the Chiefs, started a dynasty there. The Eagles have been fine since too. But like there's already been reports that there was one report that the Giants are prepared for this and they've like had a whole idea in mind that if Harbaugh gets fired, this is what happens, that kind of thing. But I'll say this, Nick, if I'm the Giants, I'm trying to move on this thing fast. Fast.
I know, but if I'm Harbaugh, I understand that. Like I'm the coaching domino to fall, right? Like if I want to wait on that Green Bay Packers game, I can do that. I can wait to see who gets eliminated from this first round and to see if any of these teams might interest me more than the New York Giants. So he does have that type of leverage and again that type of cachet. But yes, right. If I'm the Giants, I'm definitely moving fast. I am flying this dude in a private jet over here, right. Shrimp cocktails, everything, anything you want, man.
That's a good point though, Nick. It's probably up to him and he might take his time on this.
I mean, I would, unless he really has like a strong affinity for coming to coach.
Well, money talks too, right? Like the Giants can offer. This is the best part about the coaching thing. Like I'm so disappointed to see today, Nick, and I didn't know this, but I read that like I didn't realize this, but the Vikings and Brian Flores are like at the point where their contract is up. So Flores is essentially a free agent. I know what's going to happen already. I've seen this story play out. Jerry Jones is going to offer a boatload to get Brian Flores as defensive coordinator. We're going to have to play Brian Flores twice a year. I'm already accepting this and getting ready for it, unless he gets a head coach job.
I think he'll get a head coaching job.
He's got weird stuff in the back, but yes, the Tua thing, it's just maybe, but in the NFL suing that, I like, you never know with that type of stuff.
I have no inside knowledge, but I would say the Raiders would be a good fit for him, a good team for him.
Maybe. I hope you're right because I do not want to see Brian Flores, the Cowboys. But the point being, like, you can offer any amount of money to get a head coach. There's no salary cap for it. There's nothing really holding you back outside of what the owner wants to spend. So if I'm the Giants here, I'm probably getting out ahead of this thing and not lowballing this guy and just being like, name your price, dude. We'll do it. Like, we need this shit.
Oh, I know, man.
We just need him to reset the culture in so many ways. And if that means getting rid of Shane or taking control over Shane, F it. Like, I don't care.
Look, dude, the Giants haven't hired somebody like this since Tom Coughlin. And Coughlin didn't have this type of resume, but Coughlin basically built the Jacksonville Jag franchise. Like what Tom Coughlin did down there, that can't be that can't be swept under the rug. That was very important for the expansion goals of the National Football League. But we haven't really hired a guy like this who has this type of track record. Like, look at the recent hires the New York Giants have had. Ben McAdoo, Pat Shermer, Joe Judge, Brian Dable. Now we're talking about John Harbaugh. Like Harbaugh, that's a big name in NFL lore.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more in coming days about some of the other news on the Giants. They're set to interview Lou Anarumo, the coordinator for the Colts, and this one I actually like. They have an interview set for Clint Kubiak. That I love because I'm still not against that idea. I mean, Harbaugh's my easy one right now. What'd you say?
Vance Joseph as well.
Who might bring Davis Webb as offensive coordinator, who a lot of people think could be the next great offensive coordinator. There are intriguing things going on in this search, but this one to me just comes way to the forefront, at least for me. I know what they need, I know what they want, and I know my personal belief in Harbaugh and their ability to coach and instill culture, both those brothers. So let's get to some supers. Let's do that.
Bob Wells, thank you. If I'm the Giants, I am canceling all interviews I have scheduled. Rent Air Force One from the government, fly him up once he's in the building, lock all the doors, and give him a blank check and say, "Save us, Jim." Thank you so much for big
awesome,
super.
dude.
Thank you so much for the big super chat, Bob.
That's funny.
That's amazing, and that was funny. Acid Knight, thank you. Says, I wonder if this changes the chances of moving on from Shane from 0% to some meaningful number.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. You are the best Giants pod. Period. Acid Knight, we appreciate
Thank you, Acid
that.
Knight. What are you eating in that profile picture? It looks like a big plate of spaghetti, potentially.
I'm going to venture to say that's not Acid Knight, and that's Acid Knight's child, but I could be wrong. Acid Knight,
okay,
please
Acid
weigh into
Knight.
that.
And maybe
I could be completely wrong and just speak.
You're most likely right, but I also think, more importantly, your point is interesting. I think this definitely puts the chances of Joe Shane being back here at less than 0%, or sorry, the Giants moving on from Shane at more than 0%, because they haven't, at least to our knowledge, re-signed him yet. He's going, and if Harbaugh says what he's like, if Harbaugh's like, I want to bring the Baltimore way, and that means I need to bring a Baltimore personnel exec to be our GM. That's it. Like, that's it for me. Like, sorry, Joe, you did a good job. Well, you did a terrible job. You stubbed your toe, according to you, and we're not letting you get away with the stub toe anymore. You're done. Like, the toe's broken. We're getting in the Baltimore way, because I do believe in the Baltimore. I think Solak brought up some good points, but at the same time, some of that can just be played off as injury. If you really look at it, they've been so injured. Like, can't control the injuries, but to that system of building a roster out, to me, is still the best way of trying to play the comp pick formula. It's really an edge. I think it's giving them an edge. It gives them free draft picks every year, like they usually get 2 to 4 free draft picks a year.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. And like, I'm right there with you. Greg Giants, appreciate it, said, I'm so opposed to this. He was given elite rosters year after year and an elite quarterback by 2 of the best general managers ever and couldn't win with them. What makes anyone think he'll win here? Ooh, I like the opposing narrative here. Yes. I mean, I would just say, look, I think coaching a team, it takes, there's a lot that goes into that. And every year the Ravens are basically competitive. And if they do have a down year, the next year is not down. And it's a collaborative effort, having a good general manager. Look, there's something to be said about that, but being a coach in a bunch of different environments and being able to have a successful team, like, that's what the NFL is about, man. Like, that's what I would say about it. Like, I would trust his track record over the track records of a lot of, like, every single one of these other coaching candidates.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think necessarily you're right. You said he couldn't win. Well, he won 1 Super Bowl and he won a shit ton of games. We went over it. He won the most road playoff games of any coach. His record is 180 and 113. That's insane, honestly. Like, even Coughlin was 170 and 150 with the Giants. Like, I know he hasn't technically won another Super Bowl, if that's what you mean. Like, he hasn't won it all since the Flacco one, but like, he got Mahomes and Brady. Like, that's life with Mahomes and Brady in your conference. You're going to lose. And some of those were, like we showed before, like the ball being stretched out, just not getting there to the one, like very close, like not on him type of moments. And like, how about Andy Reid, who never won a Super Bowl with Philly and then built a dynasty? This feels in a lot of ways somewhat similar to that.
Yeah, and look, dude, the guy's 12-7 in the postseason with a lot of his losses being that close, like very close losses. Like, I just disagree, Greg, but we do appreciate the super chat and we do appreciate the opposing perspective. Yeah. Barry Gooster, thank you so much. Yes, give me Harbaugh. It will literally give me some life about this offseason. That's how I imagine he thought that when he typed it in.
We got a little news too from the chat. Zeno, which I'm not surprised by. Zeno1121 says apparently 7 teams have already reached out to John Harbaugh's agent, and there's 6 vacancies. So I think that goes to the report we talked about earlier, which is there are going to be some teams with head coaches currently under contract who are going to reach out and potentially try to jump the Giants, even with a coach under contract.
Do you think it's Jerry Jones? You think Jerry Jones in Texas right now on the phone?
It's possible. I hope not, because Jerry will probably outbid the Merit. Like, Jerry has so much money to burn.
He does have a lot of money to burn. Thank you so much, Omar. He doesn't say anything, but he just gives us a super.
It's going to be so sad, Nick, if we lose him to the Cowboys.
Oh, that one would be devastating.
I can't take that, dude. I can't take that, dude. In my mind, we're the best by far coaching vacancy, but that doesn't mean we're the best spot to go coach. And if some of these non-vacancies get involved, that's when shit gets nasty for the potentially tricky.
Yeah, and I can see Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys making that type of move and being like, sorry, shoddy, but bye. Javier, thank you. Rant away. Love the passion. Will Nick ever rant? I do my thing. I don't know if ranting is like, I go on these little mini rants, but I don't
Nick
like
has control over his emotions, Javier. I do not. I'm happy that you love the passion, and I'm happy that you're not thinking of me as a total lunatic for the rants, or even if you do, you respect the lunacy. But if I am looking at some point in my life to gain control over these emotions and not get to the point of ranting. So I'm happy Nick has control over his emotions. I told him he'd be a great poker player because he can control his emotions so well.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. And thank you, Javier. David Goodman, thank you, buddy. Says he's exactly what they
wait.
need.
I feel like I have seen you break though before. I feel like you've broken in Catan.
Oh, I'm sure I have.
Sure
I have broken in Catan. Catan is so. Dan and I have had a lot of battles in Catan.
It tries your patience. You get spiteful in it. You block people in trades.
You get so spiteful. I try to be crafty, when
you are spiteful as well. No one's as spiteful as Don, honestly.
Oh, Don is the most spiteful. I love it. He would just whatever. We don't need to talk about that.
There's not time for that.
David, thank you so much. Says he's exactly what they need. Do whatever it takes to hire him. He'll be great for Dart. He changed offenses for Lamar as Lamar grew. Yes, and he did the whole thing with Flacco as well. So yes, 100%.
He did change and evolve his offenses around the player. That's a great point. He's an example of a coach who is not trying to fit square pegs into round holes. He's the opposite of that, which is actually really important.
I think he allows his coordinators to do what they think best. Now he oversees it, but he allows his coordinators to adapt if they're adaptable, if they need to be adaptive. Thank you so much, Tannen, Biff Tannen, Harbaugh, Shula, Stefanski, Big Blue Wrecking Crew. Yeah, no, that's a solid. I'd probably put Stefanski over Shula, but I'm not really. I don't want to seal that right now. I probably need to do a little bit more work on Stefanski because look, Stefanski from the X's and O's standpoint, I know I used to like him when I don't really have
what happened. Yeah,
but I haven't paid close attention to the Browns, right? They've been such a shit show for so long. I don't really exactly know what went wrong. I'm going off of other people's reports and things like that, which I don't always love to do. And as for Shula, he's a new guy, and I like what he's done with the Rams, but there's a lot of unknown there. Harbaugh by far, though, for me. Hopefully, thank you so much.
At this point, Nick, I'll pine by saying this because it's come to my mind now that Stefanski's moved on from the Browns, Harbaugh's moved on from the Ravens. I'd be very surprised if Shula or Kubiak end up being the Giants head coach, given that they've made it pretty clear over and over and over again that they're looking pretty much not for another coordinator. I think it's going to be one of these two guys or McCarthy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that has been said that would suggest that.
Yeah.
JCNYC, appreciate you, bud. Said hopefully Harbaugh doesn't want to take a year. It doesn't sound like it, according to all the reports. Does not sound like it.
Right.
But we'll have to see. Omar, thank you so much. Says, hey guys, would love to meet you guys and talk ball. I would say how many years. Awesome show, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Omar. Appreciate you. We'll definitely, we've been looking to set something up. It's just every year it gets kind of bloodied or muddied by the fact that the Giants are in these gross games at some point.
Yeah, they're terrible.
We want it to be when the Giants are actually fun and a game is exciting to go watch, and then we'll do some type of meetup thing for sure.
Yeah, we've been in contact with some people in the city, who own clubs and stuff like that. So we're looking to do that as the in the future at some point. Mike, thank you so much, Mike Ross. I'm on my knees. Pause. This is what we are waiting for. Can't let this opportunity pass us.
Kind of agree with you, dude. I don't think we're going to get a better opportunity than this.
I do too, man. Thank you so much, Anthony Cameron. We appreciate it. Harbaugh News has me buzzing here in London. Ooh, you're all the way in London. Let's get this done. Thanks for all you guys do. Hey, Anthony Cameron, we really appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll say this, Anthony. I
love that he has American glasses and he's in London.
Sorry. Yeah, it is. Wow, it's America pride. I love it. I guess he was not a red coat back in the day.
Little Benedict Arnold.
No, yeah, more of a Benny. I felt before this show it's inevitable. But then I've rethought it now that I've considered that some of these teams that are higher already have coaches could actually steal Harbaugh, like the Cowboys or Packers or something. Now I'm a little more nervous. If it's just us, the Titans, the Cardinals, and the Browns and shit, I feel very good about it, though.
Yeah, same here. Talking Nico, thank you so much, buddy. Says Joe Flacco is not a bad quarterback, but he's not great either. And Harbaugh won with him in a division and AFC with prime Peyton, Big Ben, and Brady. Yeah,
that was a hell of a job he did there.
Absolutely. Ass and Night. Appreciate it. It's my 9-year-old daughter wolfing down lo mein. Got it right, baby. Yeah, lo mein. That's gotta love lo mein.
Do you eat lo mein ever, Nick? When's the last? Will you have?
I've had lo mein, and okay. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I've been introduced to Thai food, and pad Thai is one of the best dishes. I'm on a pad Thai kick, and that's a heavy carb one. But I make sure it's
more carbs than you. I can't even believe you'll have a pad Thai.
Oh, it's so good though, dude.
Stunned by that. That's more carbs than you have in a typical week.
Yes,
it really is, dude.
No, it's great. Though,
man. You used to have that non-carb bread. That non-carb bread was one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen purchased. Oh, it's disgusting.
I haven't had that in years, but yeah,
Good.
I don't really eat bread too
Just
frequently.
move on from that. That shit was gross with the fake cheese on it. That was so gross.
You know, bro.
It was so nasty.
Sai, I appreciate you, buddy. Says Harbaugh leaving the Ravens was best for both sides at this juncture. Harbaugh is ultra goated if he pulls a Liam Cohen with the Giants and forces GM to change. Yeah,
it might. If he does, we better be ready. Mara better be ready to say bye, Joe.
Yes,
that's all I can say.
S Baxter, thank you so much. Says, what if the Bills or SB or S Boxster? What if the Bills, Packers, or Cowboys fire their coach for who I didn't even consider the Bills, man. That's a good point.
That's a good one. If they have a first round exit,
McDermott would be the Giants coach, I think, if that happened.
Maybe, probably.
There's a tie. I mean, I'm sure him and Joe Shane know each other very well from their time with the Bills.
Joe Shane would push for it. I don't know if he's still.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. He fits a lot of the boxes though too.
He does fit all those boxes. You know, I'm not a McDermott guy at all.
I'm sure he can make some very inappropriate. I don't want to say jokes because it wasn't a joke.
I don't even know what McDermott brings. His defense kind of sucks every year, and he just has Josh Allen. Like, I feel like he's just been carried by Josh Allen. I'm so out on McDermott idea. God, that would be gross.
Thank you so much, Ox. Matt Peliquin. Oh, Matt, what's up? Changed my name. What's up going on, Matt? Harbaugh would get us to meaningful games around Thanksgiving. We are down bad. Hire him. Thanks for the work, guys. Yeah. Yo, look at the picture. Look at his picture, buddy.
It's Larry David. Oh, have you ever seen that movie, Clear History?
No, but that's definitely.
You should watch that sometime. It's actually pretty good. It didn't get a lot of hype, but he did a movie once on HBO called Clear History with John Hamm and a few other people. I think it's very funny.
Yeah, I mean, that's Larry David. Larry David rarely misses.
You don't miss.
In my opinion. Joe Jaravicious, thank you so much. How is Harbaugh any better than McCarthy?
Probably for me, at least, because he instills a completely different culture than McCarthy to start. I also believe that he has a much better record than McCarthy over time. He's won a Super Bowl. I guess McCarthy won with Rodgers once, so we can give him that. And I don't think, people can say it, but I don't personally think that it's a good thing that McCarthy would bring his offensive system with him, and his idea for how offense should be coached in 2026. I think it worked in the 2010s when he had 3 Hall of Fame. And I don't think it can be stressed enough that McCarthy coached 3 Hall of Fame offensive linemen with the Cowboys. Do you know how easy it is to call an offense and to score on offense when you have 3 Hall of Famers on your O-line? And Tyron might not make the Hall of Fame, but he could.
Yeah. And he also already had his retread moment with Dallas, and it did not go well, too.
Yeah.
Harbaugh is, he's a step behind that, right? Harbaugh still has not received that opportunity. Columbright, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but thanks, bro. Jones doesn't have the Koch brothers' money. If Shane doesn't get this done, that has to be the straw that breaks the camel's back for ownership.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you could look at it like that, but I don't know if it's still up to John in the end. He may just be like, oh, the Packers available, let me go there. The Bills are available. If the Bills or Packers become available, he will choose them over the Giants. I think that's pretty obvious.
Yeah. Well, that was all of our super chats, man. This was this was excellent though, man. Absolutely. Yeah.
Great show today. Lively. We've made our points here. We've made our case clear. I don't want to speak for you, Nick. I know where I'm at with this. He's by far and away my number one candidate or number one wish list guy right now. I'm still open to other ideas. I'm open specifically to Kubiak and Shula a lot. Stefanski, that's probably where my big 4 is at right now, Nick. But this is the easy one. It would be him and then a teardrop in those 3.
Absolutely. By the way, there's a quick update from my older brother because you and him have been going back and forth.
Yeah. His bullshit.
So
I decided to call me out.
No, I misspoke. It wasn't that you didn't score points. It's that nobody scored against you. And Steve,
I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, he said this is Dan's points against from that dynasty league that we're in. 1686. Steve's was 1982 and mine was 2018. And I won it, by the way. So most points against, most points for. Taking it, baby.
This is you, Steve. Jerking off to your points against. Good job, buddy. You had a high points against. I can't wait to see your ass next year, Steve. And text me on the side. If you want a side bet, I'll side bet your ass in that league. I screwed up. I should have Ashton Genty on that roster. With your one friend Whip, I almost made the most ridiculous trade ever. I tried to get too greedy. We were going back and forth 2 years ago. He wanted Kyler, and then I tried to sell him Will Levis before the year starting for the Titans. And he offered me a deal, which was Charbonnet, a first round pick, his first, which ended up being the 1-1 last year for Genty, for Levis, and I tried to get greedy and counter. And then by the time my counter was up there, he took both off the board and never responded again. It was like he was disgusted that way, which I didn't ask for that much more. It's just like, this guy's willing to give this much. I might just get an extra 3 out of this or something.
Oh, dude, no, you got to take what's there. But that's an insane deal to have on the table. And Charbonnet would have been beautiful too.
I know. I didn't even think the Sharp aspect of it. It is what it is. I made the mistake. You make those. But Steve, I got my eye on you, buddy. You're now my main rival in that league, and you are one of the nicest people I've ever met. But
he's awesome.
This regard, and even you even got nice in this like retraction of what you said. But I'll find a way around that, and I will be targeting you. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
Oh, this is awesome, guys. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
John Harbaugh, baby.
Lively chat, lively episode. Very excited about it. Have a great rest of your night. We'll talk to you soon.